What's up, everyone? We're here at... That's right, in the studio with BMX icon Tim Fuzzy Hall. Round of applause.
Thank you.
So a rather excitable crowd, buddy. How you doing?
For sure. I'm doing great. I just got out of a tractor. You guys always get me on the show right when I'm getting done with the course, getting out of the tractor. So I'm dirty, but I'm here.
Fuzz builds the courses, by the way, for the BMX Dirt. And he's our only construction worker guest.
I think so.
and how is that? I mean, do you get to ride the courses as well as build them, Fuzz?
I do. In fact, I was just like a half hour ago, like me and Ryan Gutler were just testing the course. I'd like to get advice from all the riders.
I like to call Gutler the Goot.
The Goot. I call him the Goot.
Sounds
too.
Cool.
It does. It's fun saying the Goot, you know. And he's a good dude too. He's just he's like, no problem, Fuzz. I'll test it with you right now. And so he threw on a helmet and helped me out. Just
you
like
guys got the world's best nicknames. You got Fuzz and the Goot.
There's a lot of nicknames.
Who are you rolling with? Fuzz and the Goot.
There's a lot of nicknames in BMX for sure. Or the Labs.
Those are the two coolest ones.
All right.
So what's it like? I mean, you know, you've been pro for a long time, and now you're on the other side of the, other side of the course, so to speak, building.
You mean a real job, Chris?
Yeah. What's that like?
It's relaxing, you know. I don't have to worry about getting hurt as much. I still get hurt, but nowhere near like a lot of riders are today, you know. These guys and the tricks they're doing nowadays is just insane, and the risks that they're taking to learn these tricks, and it's amazing watching it. But I do miss it, but I don't miss getting hurt.
Do you still compete ever? Or?
You know, if I get a call from Dew Tour and, like, you know, Dennis McCoy's like, Fuzz, you might have a wild card for Salt Lake City or something, I always do it. It's in my blood. I love it.
And then, you know, speaking of Dew Tour, Chicago with the cement. Tell us about that, because that was really crazy. A lot of guys came on the show, and it sent a wave of panic through all the BMXers.
Me, I got there and I'm like, this has got to be a joke, you know, as far as...
It was a cement course, for you guys that don't know. It rained in Chicago at the Dew Tour, and they had to cement the BMX dirt course. So guys that normally are landing on dirt are now landing on cement.
On cement. You know, we basically built a skate park in 3 days. You know, a lot of the times you don't have the best dirt. It's just like how it is. You know, it's hard to get dirt in downtown Chicago, and that's what we had, and that's what we had to use to make that contest work. And it definitely separated the men from the boys. Like, testing those jumps was scary. It would be like basically like hard packed cement kitty litter to wreck on. You know, like those guys taking the risks on that course was insane to me. You know, and I was stoked with the outcome of it.
And what about, I mean, the level of BMX and skateboarding with, like, the mega ramps and, you know, is it crazy to see, like, the jumps from, you know, you guys riding dirt in backyards to now where it's gone today?
It really is. You know, I was just at X Games, like, 2 weeks ago, and watching Anthony Napolitan pull that double front flip on the Mega.
That was nuts.
It was
how
he
didn't win that event is beyond me.
I don't get how he should have done better. For for me, I thought he would have done a lot better, but it's just always cool to be a part of being there live and seeing, like, that first trick pulled, you know, like, you know, I was there when Pastrana pulled his first double back on a motorcycle, and Anthony doing that was just as level or as equal to me as that, you know. It gives you chills, you know. And at the Dew Tour too, you always see something new and something crazy, and it's cool to be a part of that.
How did you first get into BMX? Because back in our day, it was you know, Huffy bicycles and little dirt jumps we were building ourselves. So and how was it to watch the sport develop?
You know, I got into BMX just at my local bike shop. I saw, you know, I was 9 years old. I saw a bunch of rowdy kids just bunny hopping from a bike shop, and I said, Dad, I want a bike. And that Christmas, I got my first bike, and I haven't stopped since then. And for me to see it progress, like, my first jump was a foot tall, you know, and, like, you know, this jump I just tested is the lip is 10 feet tall and 25-foot gap. You know, I never would have thought you could do what we're doing today, you know, and I'm glad to be a part of that.
And then Salt Lake City, that's your hometown, right?
Exactly,
so,
yeah.
What, you looking forward to that?
I always look forward to Salt Lake, and, like, that's where I know we can get really creative with the course. The dirt is the best there, and always look forward to that. And also with my backyard, I'm going to do a backyard jam there this September, and have a good time with all my friends across the country. And I love Salt Lake.
Tell us about the backyard. What's going on with that?
I don't know. You know, I've been trying to sell my house now for a year, and obviously the economy's horrible. It's not going to sell, and it bums me out to not have a backyard. So I've just been working frantically to, like, get this thing done before Dew Tour in Salt Lake. So my whole life is shoveling. You know, the last month's been shoveling and tractors and, you know, getting my yard ready, and then looking forward to Salt Lake City for sure.
And what about something else we talked about touching on was the Athlete Recovery Fund. Tell us a little bit about how that's working with the BMX guys.
You know, the Athlete Recovery Fund is awesome. You got riders like Stephen Murray. In fact, I got his whole kid on today.
Yes.
You know, Mike Aiken, who's, you know, it's just, I've grown up with Mike, and seeing Mikey get hurt and the Athlete Recovery Fund stepping up to help Mikey through
what
a bad
happened
time.
Exactly for these kids that don't know?
Mikey was back east, and he over-rotated a 3 on some of the most famous trails in the world, and, it only takes once, you know, and he didn't have a helmet on, and Mikey's really pushing, for riders to wear helmets all the time, and, you know, Mikey's going through a rough year, and the ARF is, backing him up, and I just love that. There needs to be something there for riders to do go down, because it happens.
Awesome.
Yep.
Well, hey, guys, give a round of applause for Fuzzy coming on today's show.
Thank you.